The internet and social media have existed for a good while, and the online world is home to many creators, or influencers as they're called now. Whether that be YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok, these individuals are immensely popular, and with immense popularity comes a large amount of fans. Now, fans are an essential to an online creator as they make up a good amount of the viewership and can spread the creator's social platform on platforms like Twitter and TikTok. They can also form communities that are centered around the creator. They'll make fan art, animations, etc. There's so much talent with the fans, and the content creators show constant love for their communities. But at the end of the day, they aren't really friends, which is often respected within communities as both the creator and the fans understand the relationship they should have. But what if they don't? What if a fan takes it too seriously and truly believes that they're friends with a creator? Well, my astute viewers, allow me to introduce you to the concept of parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party, the persona, is completely unaware of the other's existence. Now, these have existed for a good while with celebrities like Justin Bieber back in 2011, but it is way different from then to now. With celebrities, they're almost seen as like godlike, and on another plane of reality separate from normal people, and way out of the grasp of the general public. This made it so although these parasocial relationships existed amongst their fans, it generally never left a point outside of the fans' imaginations. But what if we take content creators into account? Because let's be real, content creators are just normal people, not any different from you and I, which causes problems within communities as it is way easier to be in contact with your fans than a celebrity would have. This can be good as content creators can be more interactive with their communities, but sometimes it can lead to many disastrous things. So allow me to go through some communities and instances where this can be found. So without further ado, let's get into it. I first want to talk about the biggest culprit of parasocial relationships, Twitter. Now, Twitter is a social media website that is home to many creators. It allows you to see what the creator is currently thinking, what video they're making, or where they're at the current moment. This is all cool, but let's talk about the Twitter communities that come from these creators. You've probably seen it with Minecraft or with K-pop, but there are many, and I mean many different people within these groups, and there will even be subgroups within these groups that go down to the specifics. Now on Twitter, you can pretty much say anything, which can lead to many different things. Twitter is often known for its toxic behaviors, and it hasn't earned that reputation from nothing, and it often stems from these people, or as they call themselves, stans. Now, do you remember that one Eminem song, Stan, way back when? Because that is literally what stans are. Overzealous or obsessive fans of a particular celebrity, and in this case, content creators. Now, I have no problem with stan culture, because at the end of the day, it's all in good fun. But it is undeniable that stans have had their fair share of negative moments, especially on Twitter, where they essentially live and thrive. They will trend whoever they stan over real-world important events, even with the most minute stuff. They could breathe air and that would be over World War III, if that ever happened. Stans move as a unit, so if there is someone they don't like, it often leads to mass harassment. Stans are most of the time young teens, so honestly it is hard to truly dislike them because kids sometimes make mistakes or act irrationally, but that doesn't mean you can't at least criticize some of the things they do. One instance I'm only going to briefly talk about is the Tommy Innit situation, in which he tweeted about Schlatt in a way people really didn't like. They then took it upon themselves to actively harass Tommy. Keep in mind, Tommy was 17 years old at the time, a literal child. The guy had to go to therapy after the fact, which is just downright saddening what the stans had done to him. The ironic thing about that whole ordeal was that these were Minecraft stans. Now, I'm not saying all Minecraft stans love Tommy, but it is quite funny how they're the first and pretty much the only ones to go against him. One of the most inclusive people on the internet was being called some crazy stuff. Racist, homophobic, transphobic, etc. Everything under the sun they were calling him. This isn't the only time they've basically harassed Tommy. These are the same people that were creating fan art of Tommy and his friend Tubbo. So yeah, sick people, but I digress. I know everyone knows by now that Twitter is a cesspool, and this isn't necessarily a stan video, But I do want to take a little bit of a rant outside of the Twitter thing, with my genuine feelings on the matter. Now I just want to say this, like I said before, I have no problem with standing. But what I do have a problem with is certain people. The so-called positivity spreading inclusive people, but will be the first to drag you down. Even if they are fans of you, they'll be the first to dump you, slander you, just spread hate. It's no shock that most of these stans are from underrepresented communities, which is probably why they act like this, but it is just so counterproductive. Because then people will see people act like this and use it as against the whole community, which drags it all down. It's happened with Minecraft, it's happened with K-pop, it's happened with anime. It's just so insulting, especially for the stans that are just there for a good time, or people from these underrepresented communities that just keep dealing with this garbage and exist and will now be dogpiled and categorized as a bad thing. So my advice for these people, take a deep, long look in the mirror and realize that you are the problem. And while you're at it, maybe log off the internet if you're going to be offended at literally everything you see. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled content. I'm going to start off this section with just one sentence. Content creators are not your friend. No matter how much you chat, donate, or even if they reply to you, they are not your friend and they will never be your friend. I know this sounds mean, and I know it might hurt to hear, but sometimes the truth hurts. Now that doesn't mean they don't like you as a fan. Content creators love their fans, just in a way that's not close because they just don't know you at the end of the day. Now sure, in some cases maybe you end up as a creator and you'll become friends with them, but that's a rare circumstance. So yeah, I am truly sorry about this truth, but it's the best for both parties. But people really don't respect this. They'll say outlandish stuff about creators and talk about them in ways you should only talk about with your friends. It can be apparent with fan meetups as well, which can be awkward for both parties, but sometimes the fans can push it a little too far, asking whether they can be in a video or other outlandish stuff. And the creator has to try their best to deny it in the nicest way humanly possible, but that won't work with some people. They'll then claim you're a bad person in real life and slander you online. It is sad how invested and connected these people get with creators that don't even know their names. But sometimes it isn't just the fans' fault. Sometimes creators will encourage this behavior, which just increases the amount of people who act like this. I believe creators have to stop validating this behavior, as you never know how extreme it can get. Some people are crazy, man, especially on the internet. Now I feel this whole parasocial craze came from lockdown 2020, a time in which people were very lonely and needed something to feel hope with. These creators gave them that feeling of warmth and happiness, which is why they feel like they're friends with them, because friends make each other happy. But that's just unfortunately not the case, especially with bigger creators. But enough about that. Let's talk about the main association people seem to have with parasocial relationships on the internet. Now the most popular instance with parasocial relationships on the internet is with none other than the guy in the thumbnail, the guy you probably clicked on this video for, Dream. Now I'm going to start off again by saying I like Dream as a creator, and overall I don't think he's that bad of a dude as many people might claim him to be. But I do think it's worth discussing as it is important. But allow me to pass it over to my main man Squiz, who will briefly talk about this with you guys. Take it away, Squiz.
As long as celebrities and media has existed, so has the existence of parasocial relationships. The use of these relationships has only risen with the growth of the internet, making it easier to watch these creators' content no matter what time of day it is, rather than just having to see a spot on TV. A particular rise of this would be the Minecraft fanbase, with creators like George, Dream, and Rambo, because they use a special tactic to relate to their viewers to create a parasocial relationship. Today, I'm going to be talking about the danger of this parasocial relationship and how it actually harms the people watching it. Dream's Twitter has a lot of parodies and jokes surrounding its name, but for the fans of his content, it actually creates a stronger bond. He often writes about how much he loves his fans, and he posts somewhat personal stuff and mundane things on his Twitter to get a glimpse into his world. Another way that he creates a parasocial relationship is with his merch. When you buy the merch, you feel like you're a part of something, and you feel like you're a part of a community. But arguably the most important and the most dangerous way he creates this relationship is by the way he talks with his viewers. See, when he's on stream or even just on a YouTube video, when he's talking, he usually refers to the viewer as you or us, creating a strong bond and making you seem like you're part of a community that you're not really a part of. It can create the false interpretation that you're Dream's friend, and since most of Dream's audience is young, impressionable teenagers, this is really dangerous to the developmental cycle. Basically, to sum everything up, Dream has a great community, but has it gone too far? I'll let you answer that question yourself, but personally for me, I think he's gone a little bit too far with his rhetoric. Anyways, thank you so much, Trey, for having me. I wish you nothing but the best with your channel, and see ya.
Excellent rundown from Squiz. I really hope y'all check him out. I'll leave his links in the description, so please show him some love after you're done watching. Now, I do want to talk about some things with Dream that I think are worth discussing. Now, Dream, as you know, is a very controversial figure. There was the whole cheating drama with his speed run. There were claims of racism against him as well. It seems like drama is always following Dream. But I do want to talk about some real drama. Dream has had numerous grooming allegations in which he has texted his fans, who were minors, and exploited them. Now, disclaimer, this is all just allegations, but it is worth mentioning, because this is one of the biggest dangers of parasocial relationships. Now, grooming is basically that one P word, but a little bit more complex. You see, with grooming, it's a very over time thing. It's almost sad how many I can name off the top of my head, but it really shows the true problem with these parasocial relationships. It can lead to dangerous stuff like this, where it can seem like a real relationship, but it just isn't. The abuser tries to establish a connection with the victim, and tries to get the victim in a situation where they feel like there is an equal relationship, when in reality, they are just being blatantly used. Now, this can lead to real-world problems, like potential meetups, or even worse things I can't say. Now imagine this, but with a content creator and a fan. The content creator will manipulate the victim, and it usually works due to the victim being a fan of the creator, making the abuser's job a whole lot easier. They will also tell the victim to keep their conversation private, which is a major red flag on every front. As it continues, it just builds up and gets worse and worse, until in some cases the victim will come forth, which sometimes might not even happen until years later. Now, on the internet, there have sadly been many grooming allegations against creators, real and fake. So my final words for this video is just, please be safe on the internet. Respect your content creator and their wishes. Don't harass anyone, and please, for the love of God, if a content creator is trying to talk to you personally, and you are a minor, and they are an adult, please don't engage, and please expose it. I know it's hard to come out with that stuff nowadays, but just know there will be people supporting you through the whole journey. Do the right thing. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have yourselves a damn good one.